The setting is Washington, D.C. and Capital One Arena. The Nets taking on the Wizards. For the Brooklyn Nets, the goal is to get better each and every time they take the floor, continuing to build their chemistry and connection. The unspoken bond that yields victory. Wizards, Nets, the tip-off coming right after this.
I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'ma need you to back up. Spilling the tea, stirring the cup. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'm in the seven.
Welcome to 2K Sports for another edition of NBA basketball. Alongside Doris Burke and Greg Anthony, this is Kevin Harlan. And on the sidelines, Hall of Famer David Aldridge. D.A., take it away.
Well, Kevin Durant said his days of trying to prove himself through basketball are done. He said, walking around with a chip on my shoulder is not my thing. I'm more relaxed and letting these days flow. I'm the best version of me. I don't need to prove who I am. I've been in it for too long. Kevin, this is a guy who is finally comfortable with himself.
All right, thanks, D.A. Here are the starters for Brooklyn. We've got Durant. Kyrie Irving is out there with Jay. Then there's Jay, and it's Cowboy in at the power forward position. And for the Wizards, Bradley Beal is out there with P. Then it's P, and it's Goose, and it's Hachimura in at the small forward position.
Well, for Washington, D.C. basketball, they have one title to their name, the champs back in '78.
What a run that was for that team, led by the great Wes Unseld. But boy, in the 40 years since that title, my goodness, fans of this franchise have waited so patiently for that return to greatness. When will it come?
And so off the tip, it's Brooklyn. Moving against Beal.
That's his first personal foul.
Passes to Jay. That's good. Nice assist from Durant.
Well, this is about unselfishness. Kevin Durant is a great scorer, but right now he's getting his teammates cooking.
Passes it to Dawson. From the left block, he sends it through.
Well, the versatility he possesses makes him a very tough cover, guys.
Irving finds Durant. The pass to Jay. Three-pointer. Great beat that time from Beal.
Terrific closeout there to challenge the three.
It may be the hardest thing to do in basketball. Close under control, and he's more than up to the task.
And it's blocked by Lewis. So it looks like the Nets will retain possession here. We've played just over a minute here in the first. Now here's Durant. Defense right on him. Pass to Jay. Puts it up. That's basket number 2 with his third shot off to a fast 2 for 3.
Boy, what wonderful vision. Kevin Durant with a picture-perfect pass.
And even after the Achilles tear for Durant in the 2019 finals, he got a huge contract after he opted out.
Most teams felt they were willing to pay him while he rehabbed for a year. That was the case as the Nets gave him a 4-year max money deal. His next chapter is underway as he changed his number to 7.
Now here's Durant. Lewis grabs the board.
Well, he's a quality mid-range shooter, but he can't get that one to go.
And Beal kicks to Dawson. Lewis outside. Pass to Hachimura. That's tipped. outside, Katie up high to stuff the alley-oop.
Oh, and the lead gets bigger on a ridiculous offensive sequence.
That dunk alone would have been spectacular. Never mind it coming at the end of an alley-oop. Passes it to Lewis. Outside, Beal. Over Irving. Beal can't get it to go. Nets leading by 5. Here's Jay. Good work there as it goes. Jay's got 9.
And that's what he does. I mean, he is a bucket getter.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
So timeout called here, the first for Washington.
And until their playoff run, the Brooklyn Nets weren't a team we thought of as a free agent destination. And Doris, you almost forget that they play in the biggest market in the country.
And Greg, who would have thought that in New York and Los Angeles, arguably the most competent franchises would be the Nets and the Clippers. These are two of the historically dilapidated teams, no longer content to play second fiddle in those major markets.
And so Allen will bring it up for Brooklyn. 59 seconds left here in the opening quarter. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line.
Boy, picking Jared Allen, number 22, back in 2017 has paid off for the Nets. This guy has proven already in his early 20s to be an NBA caliber starting center.
First one drops.
And guys, I think the future is so bright for Jared Allen. We're talking about an athletic, mobile big man who has already proven to be an accomplished two-way player.
And Allen drops them both. Wizards trail by 9. 49 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Here's Wale. That one's off. Still out of sync.
And his lateral quickness really allows him to stay in front of the shooter there and challenge the shot.
And this is the key. In this game, you've got to be able to move your feet to be successful on the defensive end.
Clearly a foul.
Brooklyn shooting their third and fourth free throw attempts of the game.
And team stats last season, 74% shooting, so some numbers that they can definitely improve upon.
The first free throw is good. On that one, so he goes 1 for 2 at the line. Wizards trail by 10. Here's D. And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up. It's on Jared Allen.
No question, he got bumped on that shot.
Washington shooting their first free throws of this game.
At the line for 2.
Shooting 2.
First one falls for him. And that's good as he hits both of his shots.
An efficient night from the line. This is a guy who puts in the work and it pays dividends.
About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. Here's G. And again, no good by Brooklyn. Wizards trail by 8. P passes to Wall. Inside, P, and a beautiful feed leads to a monster jam.
I'll tell you, if you leave a guy open, John Wall is going to put on time and on target. Sometimes the defense is not going to look good as a result.
From deep three-point range, and no good on the last second attempt this time. And so it's the Brooklyn Nets with their lead standing at 6 points here at the end of the quarter. They've been giving John Wall all sorts of problems. He still hasn't been able to solve their defense. Back to the action after this word. And hope you've enjoyed the broadcast so far. Halfway through the first half in this one. And looking at what we've seen so far from the Nets, what do you guys think?
Guys, I love their defense in that first period. They were in position and just challenging shots.
Well, I think they combined great intelligence with great effort, and you can see the results.
Here's Shorty. No points in the game yet for him.
And you look at the cast-offs that have found success in Brooklyn, Doris, a great part of the Nets story.
And I think what the players appreciate is the team that gave them their first real shot to play significant minutes. That buy-in and urge to prove themselves a part of what makes their culture special.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor, all fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. So for Brooklyn now, we've got Allen. Spencer Dinwiddie out there with Jay. Then it's G, and it's Jordan in at center. And Washington has possession. Spencer Dinwiddie picking up that last basket. On the top of the key. Offensive rebound. Controls the rebound and puts it back up and in.
That was big because they dug a big hole in the first quarter, but starting to show signs of life.
Oh, and he blocks it off the glass. Wow. Here's D. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
Really the right play defensively. If you can't block, force them to the line.
Doris, there are these players whose wingspans exceed their height by 6 inches or more. They're called +6ers, kind of a new term. Talk about that with the scouts look into those numbers.
Well, one of the things you like to have in a defensive player is length and versatility along with that length. So guys who maybe their size lists them at one thing, but that length enables them to guard a little bit differently. Guys like Kawhi Leonard, Draymond Green, Montrezl Harrell, all those guys might be listed a certain size, Kevin, but boy, their length is problematic and makes them such exceptional defensive players.
Looking at who's out there now for the Wizards. Thomas Bryant, he's checked in for B, and it's Bertanis in for Shorty. A big group substitution here for Brooklyn. Jay's checked in for DeAndre Jordan. Cowboy comes in for Allen. Karis LeVert's checked in for Spencer Dinwiddie, and Mr. Moves subbed in for Jay.
Well, a new era begins for the Washington Wizards, right? A change in the front office. The team has tried for years to rebuild in a number of different approaches. Perhaps a fresh outlook for fans under new guidance gives this team new hope.
Clock at 6. The pass to LeVert. Here's Mr. Moves, covered by Wall. From deep. And it's LeVert missing.
Just enough coverage to bother that three-point attempt.
And for the Wizards and the new front office doors, a tough task ahead of them.
I think so, Kevin, because first and foremost, they need to change the culture of the team, right? Too long, there had been a lack of accountability in D.C., and I think once they address that, the rest of the rebuild could come easier.
And the basket is good.
And he's made more than his fair share of those today.
2 minutes now played in the second quarter. Pass to Bertans. To the middle. Here's D. And 2 free throws coming up. Unable to get that one to go with all the contact.
One of the things I love about the Brooklyn Nets is the culture that's being created with this franchise. They are punching above their weight. There's no quit in this team. There is so much to like.
shooting 2.
And the first one at the line is good. And Doris, you talk about the resilience of this Nets team. How about their 25-point fourth-quarter comeback last season against Sacramento?
Kev, they become only the 4th team to overcome that big a deficit in the shot clock era. This Nets team is not invincible, but I promise you they're going to make you work for every single thing you get.
Yeah, in this quarter, they've had the right approach, driving and drawing, initiating contact, create opportunities, get to the line.
Here's Mr. Moves. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line.
You know, one of the biggest issues for the Wizards, obviously, has been their defense. I think part of that comes from not having the kind of rim protectors you need. They haven't been able to stay healthy there. But I think a bigger portion, guys, is simply a lack of effort.
Makes the first. And the lack of effort on defense, Doris, it's been a big problem in Washington.
Well, it's resulted, Kevin, in the team being second to last in points allowed last season. I don't think there's enough urgency and pressure from any position. And it also shows up in their rebounding numbers, Kev. There's a lot of things to be addressed here.
And he makes both free throws.
The Nets had to be so judicious and so smart with every move they made because they did not have top draft selections. So you have to use cap space to acquire picks. They had to find sleepers in the draft. They had to find players who were probably undervalued and then develop those players. This is an organization that used every tool at their disposal.
Here's Bryant. Off to a good start as he hits his first shot attempt.
Well, exposing a weakness in the defense, that's just way too easy, guys.
The Nets with the lead. Pass to Jay. Throws it up high. Cowboy passes to Mr. Moves. Tries again, and the layup is up and in. And 11 points for Jay.
Yeah, coach's pet peeve there. No box out.
To me, Greg, this is a common theme that's running through the league right now. Guys looking to leak out rather than box out.
Now here's Beal. Nothing yet on the scoreboard for him.
Well, put all that size to good use. Rip it off the backboard.
Here's Mr. Moves. It's blocked. They retain possession. The second effort. And he lays it up and in. Jay's got 4 points in the quarter.
And without looking at the scoreboard, you think they were the team trailing and trying to fight their way back.
Watching the line there, that'll be a backcourt violation. Washington making some changes. Lewis checked in for Thomas Bryant. Dawson comes in for Davis Bertans. And it's Shorty in for P. Jay's checked in for Brooklyn. Irving comes in for Mr. Moves. Now, here is Irving.
Who's watching it? Hey,
13 feet away. A shot, no good. That'll do it for the first half. Nets out in front, up 6. And we'll be back for the second half following the break. Keep it right here on 2K Sports.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, folks. Ernie Johnson here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. It's the NBA on 2K Sports, and let's talk the first half. Brooklyn came out looking very confident. They showed tremendous effort and drove the action early, starting off with a 9-2 run. By the end of the first quarter, they ended up with a 9-point margin. The story of the second quarter was not much different, as the scoring was even and they were able to close out the half, maintaining a 6-point lead. And from what we saw so far from the Nets, Kenny, what's your takeaway?
Efficiency You know, I think that's big. That's a key to success. You got to protect the basketball. You can't make those risky passes that lead to highlight film dunks. So I thought it was a great job.
And over to Shaq, your take on the Wizards.
Well, one thing happened that really helped them out. The bench came in and played absolutely beautiful. Gave them a huge boost. Not just trying to hold court, but actually on the scoreboard. These guys should be starting, man.
That's all for now. Say goodbye to the folks. Thanks for joining us. Third quarter, just about ready to begin.
And if you're just joining us, we've played through the first half in a game that's been fairly even so far. It's been one outstanding game from Jay.
And those extra chances mean so much. And he has shaped the game with the way he's been pulling down those offensive boards.
Really putting his handprint on this game. You love the hustle. You love the work ethic he has had on display.
And in that first half, we saw a pretty tight battle. We'll soon find out what sort of adjustments were discussed during the half. Who's out there, Dawson? Then it's P, then there's Bradley Beal, and it's Hachimura in at the 3 spot. That's the group on the floor right now for Washington. And that one is good from Bradley Beal. Of course, you've covered so many great basketball players over your many years in this business. As a player, coach, now broadcaster, who has been your favorite athlete to watch or cover or report on?
All right, Kevin, you know I can't possibly name one, so I'm going to just throw several names out there. LeBron James has overcome so many challenges as a young person even before his NBA career. So his story is absolutely incredible and inspirational. How about Kevin Durant, one of the greatest scorers in the history of the NBA? Or Damian Lillard, who has proven so loyal to his fan base and organization and is one bad man when a game is on the line in the playoffs.
And the combination of his quickness and soft touch around the rim really allows him to pull off shots like that. A lot of players don't have the reverse in their arsenal.
The rebound by KD.
It's all about the defense right there. Without that level of activity, he probably scores it.
Here's Irving. And so the ball out of bounds. Beal touched it last. Washington making some changes. He's checked in for Lewis. He comes in for Hachimura. And John Wall subbed in for Beal. A big group substitution here for Brooklyn. Jared Allen's checked in for Jay. G comes in for Kevin Durant. Dinwiddie's checked in for Jay. And Jay's subbed in for Irving. Dinwiddie passes to Jay. Ball's knocked loose. 5 to shoot. Here's G. Drops one in from the wing. G's got his first 2 points of the night. Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively, for sure.
B, the pass to Wall. Whistle blows. Basket is good. So a chance here for a 3-point play.
What a play by Wall. It's going to take more than that to slow him down.
Well, it has been a long road back from injury for John Wall, Greg. The heel issue followed by the Achilles tip.
And you just hope that Wall can make a full recovery and get back to the player he once was. Provides so much with his speed and playmaking as well as scoring.
That one misses for Wall.
Well, we know this. John Wall is a great scorer, but let's not forget that over the course of his career, he's always been looking to create for others as well. Now, sometimes he can get a little ahead of himself, but the unselfishness shows in his assist totals.
Now, here's Jordan. He's been patient so far, nothing on the scoreboard yet. And then Allen slams it in.
Well, that's a highlight play for Mr. Jared Allen. Nice pass from his teammate.
Outside, Wall. Just under 2.5 minutes into the third quarter now. Wizards passing it around, and it's going to be out of bounds. The Wizards will retain possession. And with Wall, the assists are always high. But Doris, his turnovers are up there too, unfortunately.
Yeah, no doubt, Kevin. I think part of that is because John Wall plays the game at breakneck speed. You hope as the years go on, he becomes more efficient in terms of his decision-making.
D, he's checked in for the Wizards. Shorty comes in for P. No good on the quick three.
A slight advantage for them in the rebound department, but that oftentimes is all it takes.
Dinwiddie with the bucket.
And after a first half in which their offense shot under 40%, they've got the lead, and they should count themselves to be lucky.
Now here's Wall, and there's the pass to Pete. There's the lob to the hoop. It's stolen by Allen. And here we go, the fast break with Dinwiddie. Here's G, and it's G finishing it off.
Well, how about that floor awareness by Spencer Dinwiddie, getting his guys the basketball in great spots.
Pass to Pete. Outside, Wall. The Wizards with another miss, and here are the Nets stringing it together. They've got an 11-2 run going, and it's Allen with the jam.
Oh, and the lead gets bigger on a ridiculous offensive sequence.
That dunk alone would have been spectacular. Never mind it coming at the end of an alley-oop. 6-second difference between shot and gameplay. Here's P. Good D by Jordan.
And he did everything he could to make that shot as difficult as possible.
We call that a great contest. You know this is something he brings to the table, the ability to anchor your defense.
Here's Dinwiddie, and the Nets another three.
And everything is dropping for them. Terrific second half run.
And I think, Greg, it's been all about their offensive efficiency, shooting the lights out in this quarter.
And here at the end of the third quarter, it's a double-digit ball game. Nets lead by 18. We'll be back shortly, live from Washington. And we reach the fourth quarter in a game that may be already out of hand. Here's Mr. Moves on the court for the Nets, getting the fourth quarter going. Durant is out there with Karis LeVert. Then there's Jay. Then there's Spencer Dinwiddie. And it's Mr. Moves at the point. Chalk up 2 there.
+8 in the rebound differential. One more reason why they're in control.
Shorty, the pass to B. Here's Shorty. Launches a 3. Dinwiddie with the rebound. Here's LeVert, and it's blocked. Lewis passes to D. Now the dish to Lewis. Passes it to D. Doris, you've accomplished so much in your award-winning career. What was your first experience in broadcasting?
Kevin, my first experience was I left coaching and they put Providence College women's basketball on radio. That was the first ever game I got to call. It was so cool. Tell me yours. What was the very first? Did you study this? How did you get into broadcasting?
I did. Our high school had a radio station, and the first basketball broadcast was underneath the bleachers, looking through popcorn boxes and legs of the people that were standing in the bleachers so that I could see the court from the baseline.
Amazing.
Because that's where the telephone cables were to plug in our equipment. And
wow.
I was 16 years old.
Incredible.
Remember very well.
Incredible.
Very well.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
The first one falls. So for the Wizards, Dawson's checked in for B. Hachimura comes in for D. And it's P in for Shorty. And then for Brooklyn, Cowboys checked in for Karis LeVert, and Jay subbed in for Dinwiddie. And so he hits both. First minute and a half of basketball played here in the fourth quarter. Outside, Wall. They need this, and he hits the jumper for two.
This is John Wall's comfort zone right here. Excellent rate of success from the mid-range.
Here's Mr. Moves, covered by Wall. Poked away. It's stolen by Wall. And here we go. Washington fast break. Here's Dawson. Oh, he blocked it and deflects off the backboard.
That's his second personal foul. Shooting for Washington, Lewis. Taking 2 shots.
First free throw is good. And the Nets making a change here. Irving's checked in. He hits both from the stripe. And we're around 2 minutes into the fourth quarter here. The pass to Jay. Now Durant from the arc hits the three-point bomb. KD's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. Wall looking it over. We're in the fourth quarter here, just under 2.5 minutes gone.
And the way they have controlled the glass this game, really impressive.
And bottom line, more boards means more possessions. That's how you build a lead.
Down low, here's Jay. Good, and the assist goes to Irving.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for the Nets.
It was a standout performance across the board.
I mean, it was like watching a cat play with a mouse. They were able to do more or less whatever they wanted.
And one of the key components to this victory, if not the biggest, was the incredible performance for Jay.
Boy, I think he made his presence felt in the paint more than anywhere else. This guy's rebounding numbers were outstanding. He controlled the glass.
Nets ball.
Washington making some changes. Thomas Bryant, he's checked in for Lewis. Bertinez comes in for Dawson. And Bradley Beal subbed in for John Wall. The Nets also changing it up. DeAndre Jordan comes in for Jay. And Joe Harris is subbed in for Kevin Durant. It's stolen by Bertans. Oh, and a fast break for the Wizards.
Want easy looks? Don't allow the defense to set up.
What a beautiful fast break opportunity, and the finish pretty good.
And so it's Irving with it, bringing it up for Brooklyn. So far in the fourth quarter, they've allowed just 6 points. And yes, it's good.
Well, they knew it would be a hostile environment, and they rose to the challenge.
And sometimes, Greg, when everyone's rooting against you, it seems to bring the unit closer together. It certainly did tonight.
And Bryant kicks to Bertans. The kick out to Bryant. This one for 3. Brooklyn with the rebound. Easily grabbing this one. This crowd was stunned by the manner in which their team was dismantled.
You know what? Shocking. I don't care what the matchup is. You never expect a road team to come in and just cruise to the kind of win they did tonight.
And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thanks very much. Kevin, how did you guys get this win tonight?
Well, we had to get stops. You know, those guys, they got so many options, so many good players, man. We just had to rally around each other and get stops.
Yeah, you guys played your best ball at the end and got the win. Congratulations. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Alden, this is Kevin Harlan along with our terrific 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.